Tonight, breaking news, the missing submarine and the explosion picked up on sonar. Anguish and anger from the families of the 44 crew members on board. Were they given false hope? Also breaking tonight, the new report about Michael Flynn. Is he cutting a deal with prosecutors in the Russia investigation? New accusations, 2 more women coming forward saying Senator Al Franken groped them. This, as now a 3rd former employee of Congressman Conyers describes inappropriate behavior, including the way he was allegedly dressed in the office. Officer murder mystery, the police detective murdered the day before he was set to testify against 8 fellow police officers. Trapped, the pregnant mother and her toddler stuck inside a sinking SUV. What that mom did that saved their lives. And holiday heroes, the woman who ran out of gas and the homeless veteran who came to her rescue. Their story leading to a chain reaction of giving across the country this Thanksgiving.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
And good evening. Thanks for joining us on this Thanksgiving holiday. I'm Tom Llamas, in for David tonight. And we begin with that breaking news in the search for the missing submarine. Tonight, authorities from the Argentine Navy say the last sound heard from the submarine was most likely an explosion. For more than a week now, crews have been searching the often turbulent waters, tracking those sounds as the whole world watched. Tonight, the new analysis that there was an explosion 8 days ago, and it's causing heartbreak for the families of the 44 crew members on board. ABC senior foreign correspondent Ian Pannell starts us off with the news those families did not want to hear.
Tonight, agony and anger as officials in Argentina say an underwater sound detected last week could be an explosion, dashing hopes for the relatives of 44 missing sailors aboard the lost submarine. They killed my brother, this man says. Wednesday, U.S. officials reported it had recorded a hydroacoustic anomaly using instruments like these, hours after the sub went missing. Argentine officials today saying the noises were short, violent and non-nuclear, consistent with an explosion. The wife of one of the crew members says officials told her the submarine sank to 3,000 meters and could be on the ocean floor, a claim officials deny. The San Juan was returning from a mission in the southern tip of Argentina when it reported an electrical fault, losing contact on the morning of November 15. Crews have been searching a radius of 77 miles, battling rough seas in an area where depth can reach nearly 10,000 feet. The noises were detected just miles from the submarine's last known position. Argentine officials say they'll continue exhausting all means in the search, but experts are warning that the vessel may well now be out of oxygen. And if it is in extreme depths, it may be impossible to recover the sub at all. Tom?
Ian Pannell starting us off tonight. Ian, thank you. Next to the growing claims of sexual misconduct on Capitol Hill, new accusations against lawmakers. 2 more women coming forward to say that Senator Al Franken groped them, and a 3rd woman claiming misbehavior by Congressman John Conyers, including calling her into his office while he was dressed only in his underwear. ABC senior White House correspondent Cecilia Vega tracking it all.
Tonight, the sexual misconduct scandal rocking Capitol Hill is growing. Senator Al Franken already under fire for this photo and facing multiple accusations.
Al Franken pulled me in towards him and then put his hand on my rear.
Now has 2 new accusers, a total of 4. The latest women tell the Huffington Post the Minnesota Democrat grabbed their backsides during his first bid for Senate. One says it happened while posing for a photo at a women's political event. The other says after groping her at a fundraiser, Franken suggested they visit the bathroom together, saying, "My immediate reaction was disgust, but my secondary reaction was disappointment." Franken told the Huffington Post, "It's difficult to respond to anonymous accusers, and I don't remember those campaign events." And now a 3rd woman accuses Michigan's John Conyers of wrongdoing. Melanie Sloan, a high-profile Washington lawyer, says she was harassed and verbally abused when she worked for the congressman in the 1990s.
There was, of course, also the time where I walked into his office and he was in a shirt and underwear.
Despite calls to resign, even from within his own party, Conyers' lawyer says in a statement, quote, "That is not going to happen," and that if people were required to resign over allegations, a lot of people would be out of work in this country, including the president. And the newest congressman caught up in scandal says he may be the victim of a potential crime, revenge porn. Hours after Texas Congressman Joe Barton apologized for a naked, sexually explicit photo that leaked online, the Washington Post released transcripts from a 2015 recording in which Barton confronts an unidentified woman to whom he sent explicit photos and messages. Barton says, "I am ready if I have to. I don't want to, but I should take all this crap to the Capitol Hill police and have them launch an investigation. And if I do that, that hurts me potentially big time." The senior House Republican says he was separated from his wife at the time and that he had other consensual sexual relationships with adult women. He said, "This woman admitted that we had a consensual relationship. When I ended that relationship, she threatened to publicly share my private photographs and intimate correspondence in retaliation." Now, the woman in this case that says that she shared explicit images with other women who were having relationships with Congressman Barton, but she told the Washington Post that she has no intention of retaliation. Tom, Barton says Capitol Hill police are now promising an investigation.
And Cecilia, there's late-breaking news tonight in the Russia investigation. A report in the New York Times says lawyers for Michael Flynn say they will no longer share information about Robert Mueller's investigation with President Trump's personal legal team.
Yeah, Tom, and let's just remember, Michael Flynn was, of course, President Trump's former national security advisor. He is a key figure in Robert Mueller's investigation into whether there was collusion between the Trump team and the Russians during the campaign. If, in fact, there is an end of cooperation between these two teams, it could be a sign that Michael Flynn is now cooperating with Mueller's probe.
Cecilia Vega with those new developments tonight. Cecilia, thank you. Tonight, we're also tracking new developments in the murder of a Baltimore police detective, Sean Suiter, a father of 5 and an 18-year veteran of the force, killed on duty 8 days ago. The reward now more than $200,000. And tonight we've learned Detective Suiter was killed with his own service weapon 1 day before he was set to testify against 8 fellow police officers. ABC's Gloria Rivera is in Baltimore tonight.
Tonight, an unnerving twist in the case of Baltimore detective Sean Suiter, shot in the head with his own gun. No suspects and few clues to who murdered him, but now this revelation from police.
The very next day after Detective Suiter was murdered, he was scheduled to appear before a federal grand jury.
That federal grand jury hearing a police corruption case and indicting 8 Baltimore cops. Some of those cops admitted to shaking down citizens, stealing drugs, then selling them. Authorities say Suiter was not a target in that investigation, and there is no evidence yet his murder was premeditated.
I just am determined to keep following the evidence. There's nothing that we won't consider.
An 18-year veteran of the force and father of 5, Suiter was with his partner investigating a triple murder last week when they noticed a man acting suspiciously. Suiter approached.
The struggle, and again, there's evidence of a struggle was brief and violent.
We do not know where these shots came from. We have officers in bad locations. Let everybody take cover somewhere.
Suiter's partner called for help, but was only able to give a vague description of the suspect.
Tom, police and federal agents are still focusing on that dangerous neighborhood. More than a dozen people have been killed at a single intersection there in recent years. And tonight, the reward for any information leading to an arrest is now at $215,000. Tom?
So many questions surrounding the killing of that officer. All right, Gloria, thank you. Next to the arrest of an alleged bomb maker, a Texas woman accused of mailing explosive devices to President Obama, Texas Governor Abbott, and the head of the Social Security Administration. Among the clues the FBI used to find her, a damaged shipping label police say was from an eBay package she received, and a trace of hair from her cat. ABC's Marcus Moore is in Texas tonight.
Tonight, these court documents revealing in disturbing detail how one Texas woman allegedly mailed homemade explosives to then President Obama and Texas Governor Greg Abbott that could have caused severe burns and death. Investigators say a victim-activated improvised explosive device actually reached the Texas governor and was designed to explode, but it failed because the governor did not open it as designed.
I'm totally baffled that a sitting state governor could open a package that has a potential bomb inside it.
Prosecutors say 46-year-old Julia Poff of Brookshire, Texas, mailed the devices, along with a third, to the acting head of the Social Security Administration in October 2016, after her applications for benefits were denied. Court documents show that the governor's package had an obliterated shipping label that was addressed to Poff, But one of the biggest clues coming from that cat hair found on the Obama package.
This is really textbook law enforcement forensic work, pulling up hairs and fibers, anything that could be traced back to the suspect. In this case, they found apparently cat hair that they could microscopically match up with the defendant's cat.
Tom, tonight, Pav, who has pled not guilty, is in federal custody facing 6 counts on various charges. Tom.
Marcus, thank you. Next to the heightened security here in New York City for the big Thanksgiving Day parade. The NYPD keeping their promise of the strongest ever show of force. At least one police officer on every block of the parade route. And all across the country, with crowds gathering for holiday events and at malls and travel hubs, the season of vigilance is just getting started. Here's ABC's Gio Benitez.
Tonight, officers armed with assault rifles lining the streets of New York City. 3.5 million parade goers, but it's what you didn't see on TV, behind the scenes. Take a walk through much of New York City and you're going to find massive sanitation trucks with tons of sand and officers at just about every block. 81 of those blocker trucks, weighing 16 tons each, placed at each intersection, all to protect the massive crowds from an attack similar to the one on Halloween.
Because of that and everything that happened in the world, we really take into account everything we see and we make adjustments to the parade.
Police also conducting bag checks at each entrance and adding canine units, choppers, even snipers.
We have sniper teams up, we have people at high posts, we have a lot of cops.
In fact, the NYPD adding 2,000 more officers for this year's parade route.
It feels very safe, but very friendly, very organized.
Extra security this holiday, not just in New York, but along parade routes in Philadelphia, Houston, and Chicago. Police most concerned at the start of this holiday season with the so-called soft targets and are increasing security at malls and busy train stations too. And Tom, last year ISIS called the parade a, quote, excellent target, and so now authorities across the country are staying extra vigilant tonight and through the holiday weekend. Tom.
Gio, our thanks to you. We move on now to Florida, where President Trump and his family are celebrating the holiday. The president and first lady stopping by a Coast Guard station in Lake Worth Inlet to say thank you. The president highlighting the Coast Guard's rescue and recovery efforts during 3 recent hurricanes. This after greeting troops overseas in a video call.
We love you. And this is a Thanksgiving that you won't forget. You're in a very different part of the world than you were used to, but boy, are you doing a job there.
The president thanking military members for their service and listing his own accomplishments, telling those troops the country is moving in a positive direction. Moving on now to Thanksgiving and the other staple almost as popular as that turkey and all the trimmings, the holiday shopping spree. Here's ABC's Alex Perez with the best ways to shop and how to score gifts for free.
The frenzy in full swing tonight, with deal hunters rushing to get first dibs on this year's deepest discounts.
About how much did you save today, you think?
I don't know, but probably $400 or $500.
Some shoppers camped out for days to get a jump on the deals.
You got to do what you got to do to get that price.
Shoppers expected to spend an average of $967 on holiday gifts this year, leaving retailers clamoring for your holiday dollars.
They have to offer you something real or you're not going to fall for it, so the deals are there.
With more than 6,000 brick and mortar stores going out of business in 2017 alone, many retailers are offering in-store only doorbusters to boost foot traffic. Braving crowds at Target will save you $400 off this 55-inch Westinghouse Smart TV. Best Buy stores have this laptop for $119. And at Macy's, these 10 in-store only items that will be free after mail-in rebate. And experts say, don't wait too long.
Buy it when you see it, if it's a good price, because retailers have pretty lean inventories.
And many are skipping the stores and shopping online tonight. A warning, many retail websites are being spoofed, so make sure you have the right site before handing over your credit card information. Tom?
Alex Perez for us shopping all the way through. Alex, thank you. There's still much more ahead of World News tonight this Thanksgiving Day. A pregnant mom and her toddler stuck in a submerged car. What she did that may have saved her family. Actress Uma Thurman slamming Harvey Weinstein tonight. What she posted on Instagram about the accusations against him. And the homeless veteran, what he did for a stranger. The lesson in giving. And tonight, the donations that are pouring in to help him. Stay with us.
Prudential asked these couples how much money